Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you guys how you can reverse a function, so that way you can hook it or you can see how it works, etc. So basically we're going to be looking into the server command function in Modern Warfare 3 on Title Update 23. So to start off, I'm going to open up my IDA and load the XEX into it real quick. I'm going to pause the video while it loads, that way you guys don't have to sit here while it loads for a while on my slow computer. Alright, now that it's loaded, we're going to go ahead and jump to the address of the server command function. And so let me do that real quick by clicking jump and then jump to address. That's what you type in the address for it. And then I'm going to go ahead and start off by renaming the function. So that way I can find this quickly again. And as you can see here, it's fairly simple. It'll be pretty quick and easy to reverse. Just one call of the same function, so that'll be pretty easy to write up. There's only one check on an integer, so let's go ahead and get started. So for the arguments for a server command function, I guess I can first start off by showing you guys how registers work. So you have registers on your Xbox store information and pointers to information, etc. And registers that store parameters for functions are registers R3 to register 10. So if you had the function SV games and server command, and you pass the parameter 0 for client 0, 1 for type, and then for the command you did S UI debug local var string test. Oops. Then that would store the value 0 in register 3, or R3 for short. It'd store the 1 for command type in register 4, and it'd store this string. It actually store pointer to the string in register 5. And so basically, once you get to register 10, if you pass more parameters than there is through register 10, it'll start storing them on the stack, which is register 1. And you can just access your parameters that way, but we're not going to get into that today. Anyway, so now let's get back here. So when you call this function, register 5 will be the command. So the first thing it does, it moves the command from register 5 to register 6 with the move register command in PowerPC. So I'm going ahead and start by writing my hook, because you need to hook the function. And I'm going to use patch and jump, which you can find in most kernel headers, or you just find it on the internet. The first parameter is the address to hook. We'll do that. Second one is a pointer to the function that it will be redirected to. And we'll type this on in a second, and then 0 for not linked, because they're not in the same title module. Anyway, so now we have to go and write our void SV games and server command. Basically, this is just the name of this function. And for the arguments, we're going to have an int64, which is 8 bytes for register 3. And we're going to do this for every other register, up to register 10. Register 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That way we can capture all of the data that is being sent to the function without having to use like inline assembly. So the first thing it does is it takes that register 5 and moves it to register 6. That's pretty simple to do. All we have to do is just R6 is equal to R5. From there we can go ahead and go into the next part. Compare word immediate compares this to this. -1 would be if you're sending it to all clients. So it's basically checking to see if you want to send it to all clients. And if it's not equal, so if you're sending it to one individual client, it will do this. Otherwise, it will do this. So we'll go ahead and write this real quick. So it's just basically an if or. So if R3 is equal to -1, do this, else do this. And so right here we type this code that's reversed, and right here in this else bracket we type all of this that we're going to reverse, which won't be that hard. So the first thing it does after it checks is it loads the upper bits of this right here. So basically in PowerPC you cannot load more than 2 bytes of information because let's say we had 48, I'm not sure, let's say 38, or let's do, for example, I'm not really sure, but anyway, let's say you want to load the value UX8200 4644, that way that's divided by 4, and you want to load that into register 5. In order to do this, you have to first do a load immediate shifted, which loads the so do load immediate shifted R5 0x8200. It loads these upper bits into the upper bits of register 5. From there, you can do it or immediate R5, R5, and then you do this value. This will store the lower bits into register 5 with upper bits of this one. So that's basically what this is doing, is it's taking the upper bits here of whatever this pointer is, which is a pointer to a string, and it's storing them in R11, and then from here it adds this to register 11, this 0xD70, and stores the value in R5. So we can go ahead and take this pointer, just copy this, because all it's doing is taking these, first takes the A200, then it takes F290, and we'll go back, and we'll just do R5 is equal to 0x there. And after that, it basically, well, it's missing this instruction, which it loads 0 into register 3, so we can just do that real quick. R3 is equal to 0. And then it goes to here, and it jumps to another function, which I'm going ahead and tell you this is the send server command function. So we'll go here and grab this address, and we'll go in here and retype the prototype for it. So we'll do type def void star sv send server command t, and then the arguments will be int64. We'll just copy these, and then semicolon. Here, let me change my language real quick to C# or C++. Easier to see that way. Anyway, then we can go here and do is equal to this, and then the address of the function, which would be this. That way we can call the server command function straight from our hooked function. So from here we can just do sv send server command, and then we can just do R3, R4, R5, R6, R7, R8, R9, R10. You could also have done this. If you just did, yeah, I'm not going to go into it because it's a little bit more complicated than that, but so that's it for this first part of the function. Let me go back to the server account. So this is all reversed, and that reversed is basically this C++ code right here. Now we can just go into this else statement. The first thing it does another loading of into R11, stores value in R9 of this pointer right here. So we'll just copy this and say R9 is equal to 0x, and then that value, that pointer to a word. And then right here, loading mean it shifted R10, 0x20, and then the next time R10 is used is in register 8, where it just stores this value into register 8. It orders it with R10 and this value and stores the value in register 8. So all you have to really do is R8 is equal to 0x. Oops, let me delete that real quick. And then that's that. So now we're done with most of this already. And then it loads in R7, 6, so we can just copy this value. Next time R7 is used, now we'll go back to this here. It loads a pointer to the %s string in R5, and it just immediately adds that, so I can just copy this pointer again. R5 is equal to 0x. There we go. And now we're almost done. Now we have load word in 0. So basically what this does is it does this. R11, let me verify this real quick. Yeah, R11. I have to define that real quick. R11 is equal to star D word star R8 plus R9. That's pretty basic. Now we're going to the next part, where it multiplies R3 times R10 and stores the value in R10. So we can just do R10 is equal to R3 times R10. And it looks like there's not much left to do. It just adds R10 and R11, stores the value in R3. So R3 is equal to R10 plus R11. And from there, it just calls the send server command function once more. I'll just copy it from up here. And there we have it. Really just tab in a little bit so it's a little bit easier to see. Tab in. That is the fully reversed send server command function. So with this, I obviously didn't implement anything, but what you could do is you could do debug print. For example, if you're on a dev kit and you want to figure out the arguments of a function without having to use like Visual Studio or something, you can do we'll do SV games and then we'll do %d, and then we'll do %s for string, and we'll print out dword R3, dword R4, and char pointer R5. Basically what that will do is it'll print this into your Watson log of what client it's sending it to, what command type, and what the command is. And that's about it for this tutorial. I'll put all this code in the description. It's pretty simple. I guess I'll create another tutorial later. That's it. I don't know how to end this stream.